Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Snoo. Today I want to bring you an update video on the tech that got me most excited for the league start about a month ago, 3.23, with some help from the community. We had a major nerf to Calm Spirit Gloves, which is a favorite for us bow builds, glass cannon bow builds, magic find builds especially. Gave us a whole bunch of rage and berserk and a lot of survivability, speed, and damage. And those gloves were nerfed so hard that many of us were left thinking we're not going to be able to even use Berserk, maybe not even be able to get Rage in the upcoming league. Well, I set out to try to find an alternative if I could. You're looking at it right here. It's Warlord's Mark. Very difficult to incorporate into a bow build. Absolutely requires a major sacrifice of dropping Sniper's Mark, which is typically used with a mark on hit, and there's absolutely some conjecture. I have no doubt somebody in the comment section below will try to make the case for Sniper's Mark over Warlord's Mark, despite everything I'm about to tell you. I've had a few major revelations. There's three big things that I think strongly support the case of using Warlord's Mark this league. Now, the meta still does dictate for Sniper's Mark. If you go on PoE Ninja, you'll see that the vast majority of people playing any build like mine is using Sniper's Mark. So I definitely enjoy being a little bit against the meta. I enjoy trying to do things a little differently. But no, really, seriously, I think this could be, at best, a total meta shakeup, could redefine a new meta for bow builds, and at least just something for you to think about. So please do pay close attention. This is going to be a tech-heavy video. I have gone out of my way to prep a map, which took a lot longer than I expected it to do. So I hope you appreciate the extra time dedicated to do so. I'm going to show you the three major revelations I had in support of Warlord's Mark with Cast on Crit. This is the tech. This allows us to generate untold amounts of rage and be able to use Berserk in some ways, virtually 100% uptime on Berserk. Not technically possible, but virtually, and you're going to see that in this map, in this showcase. Just as a recap, in the videos that I came out with before the league, it involved a mandatory 5 link of Warlord's Mark, Awaken, well, not Awaken, but Cast on Crit support, Life Tap, Manaforged Arrows, and Frenzy. Well, I guess this league we get to also have Frenzy of Onslaught. Now, I believe I used Tornado Shot last time because it allowed more arrows to go hit, but no, actually, I've figured out that Frenzy works as well. And this is not actually one of the major 3 revelations, but sure, we could add a 4th one, I guess, because that's kind of a big deal. I used to put Frenzy in a separate 4 link or have to use Blood Rage, but no, really, it's good enough at this point, and surprised me, this league especially, that I could even pull this off with much tankier monsters, because you would think, right, that this can't be done with very tanky monsters. But I've been playing now juiced up 10k Wisp, T16s even, and still doing just fine, activating the rage regen over 1 second each time an enemy is stunned. Now, another major recap in here. This requires some way to remove freeze from the build. I'm going to showcase this in the map in just a moment. I have Secrets of Suffering. You could use Gale Sight as a helmet. There's a couple other things you could do, but this is the most sensible one at the high-end budget for sure. It says here, cannot ignite, chill, or freeze. Now, this is very important because freeze and chill take priority in the programming of the game over stun. If you have any capacity to chill or freeze, essentially if you do even 1 cold damage in your build without an extra mod that explicitly states you cannot chill or freeze, you will never stun. You will never stun an enemy. And stun is its own defensive layer. It's pretty cool. It's kind of a decent substitute for freeze. And again, I'm about to showcase that. So let's go over number 1. Major revelation involves the tincture tech. Now, I should probably issue a formal apology because the 100 or so of you who reached out to me about excitement in respect to the Ironwood tincture, I basically shut all of you down by saying, well, there's no way this is going to have any impact, because how are you going to hit an enemy, crit an enemy, and it still be on full life? You're not really going to be able to make use of this, right? Because you have to get the mark on the enemy first, outside of the really rare instance where the mark transfers over without doing any damage to it. Virtually never going to happen. Well, unfortunately, I didn't take into account energy shield. So there are many different enemies that are very tanky this league and indeed have energy shield. And in some cases, every enemy has energy shield. If it rolls with a map mod, monsters gain, in this case, 62% of maximum life as extra maximum energy shield. Wow, I really like this map mod now. So this is one major revelation. Energy shield makes this tincture incredible. Now, this does, of course, require the Warden of the Magi. I've been a major supporter of it for alternative reasons, namely this right here, Detect Evil, which you will also see in this map. But anyway, I'm going to showcase this in action right now. I have 2 expedition mobs that are healing every few seconds. They have been juiced up. But anyway, I want you to pay close attention to the rage bar. I may have to try and actually evade death here. Now, one more thing to note on here. I'm not giving you, unfortunately, can't give you a proper showcase of just how much rage this sends me up, because I have 64% less effective curses on monsters. So that actually nerfed my rage regen a lot. Not getting actually 20, so just wanted to point that out. But anyway, you can see that there is a Warlord's mark. There it is, right on that enemy. And if he goes to full life, and I crit, boom, I get a little bit of hit there. Yay. All right, so he's going to be on full life. Guaranteed stun in this case, because the tincture is guaranteeing the stun. I'm getting the rage every single time. So I just wanted to showcase that for you. Now, of course, this doesn't just apply to expedition mobs, just for showcase. It was the most sensible way to showcase this crystal clear cut. By the way, this is a tier 7 juiced up cemetery. I have a 1-link tornado shot. That's the reason why they're not dying, and the reason why I'm not dying as well, for that matter. But anyway, that is revelation number 1. So energy shield monsters, the map mod or not, tanky monsters, ironwood tincture, yes indeed. Formal apology accepted, I hope. Use the tincture, Warlord, for the Warden of the Magi. You don't technically have to do that, but again, major revelation from me to you. Okay, so the second thing, number 2, is also can be demonstrated very clearly right here, right now. You might notice that a Warlord's mark is out right there, but what are these other icons? There's a couple other icons on here. What's going on here? So yeah, I'm getting the rage from Warlord's mark, sure, but you'll see that there's a different icon that keeps coming over, and those of us who are bow builds, not used to seeing this icon. What is it? That would be the flex slot 6th link, in this case a 2120 punishment lined up in there. Now wait a minute. Am I using Whispers of Doom? No. Do I have extra curse? No. I only have a curse limit of 1. But guess what? I get to have virtually 100% effectiveness of 2 curses for the price of 1, at least while mapping. Now, sure, single target against bosses, which honestly I don't really care about, that doesn't work. I can only have 1. And Warlord's Mark will take priority. Now, the reason Warlord's Mark takes priority is if you check on the wiki in the curse order, curse limit, it will say if in the same link, the Warlord Mark is actually the highest priority curse of all. Marks take priority over the curses, or hexes rather. I don't want to misspeak. But if it's in a separate place, like for example, if I had the Shadows of Dust, if I had it corrupted with, let's say, Elemental Weakness, it wouldn't work. Elemental Weakness would take priority over Warlord's Mark, and that's the reason why I don't have it there. I would like to do that, but unfortunately I can't do that. So it has to be in the same link. Fortunately, I have an extra flexible slot. Now, with the nerfs that took place to rank 1 curses recently, or rank 1 hexes, this works out pretty nicely, because a 2120 Elemental Weakness, or maybe I'd like to do Enfeeble for some extra tankiness. It would be good this league. Or in this case, I'm playing around Punishment because I get some extra damage and extra tankiness. Thanks to, what's it called here? Debilitate, which indeed works really well, especially good for Abyss, by the way. This works out really nice. I can do a whole bunch of extra damage when they get below half-life, which you're obviously not able to see right here because they're never getting below half-life. But yeah, so what happens is the cast on crit Warlord's Mark will overwrite the punishment or hex each time it goes out, but punishment is also going off like crazy. Punishment will not override the Warlord's Mark, so I get Warlord's Mark. It's always up. I'm always getting the big benefit of all the rage regen there, but I'm also getting the side benefit of punishment just going out on everything else. And by the way, this is a spell, full-blown cast, the whole area of effect, everything is involved in there. By the way, you don't have to do this specifically in the bow. You could be running a Cena's Chant, because you might be saying to yourself, well, that's nice. Well, I want a Ballista Totem setup for my second 6th link, or I want an Aura setup for the second 6th link. Yeah, this is kind of begging you to change the meta on that too, but you could use the Cena's Chant as a workaround. That would mean you would lose the helmet. But yeah, basically this does require a full 6th link and then a secondary 6th link that is going to be able to fit all of that in there, the 5-link mandatory there. But anyway, that is number 2. Let me go show you number 3. Number 3 is going to be right over here, and this is the one that's a real headache. It is perhaps the most interesting one of all, one I never knew about, and that is, did you know there is a Headhunter buff called Stuns? That's all it says. It just says stuns. And apparently what that does is it makes you stun everything with all of your hits, should you steal the buff, for 60 full seconds. Or actually, I think on this map I have less buff up time. No, maybe not. Okay. For 60 seconds, you stun everything. But do you actually stun everything? Well, let's find out here. I got that mob up right over here. He's still alive. He's going to say it right here. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Stuns. Okay. And hasted and a whole bunch of other things. But I'm going to kill this guy now. And now I stun everything. Check this out. For 60 seconds. Stunned. Rage. Up. Rare monster. Don't care. Getting all the rage in the world. If I'm hitting anything, here, let's just do this Legion. It's going to be hilarious. All the rage is mine. And I may have a hard time breaking out some of this Legion, I guess, on a one link, but anyway, we'll break it out. By the way, you don't stun monsters in stasis, so one little caveat there, but once these come out, boom, get ready for the rage. Here it is. All right, and again, 64% less effective curses, but Berserk is on. This is, again, without that debuff, that sucker is just sitting at 50 the whole time. And voila, I'm going to go ahead and kill these guys, and I'm just going crazy on here. Now, the interesting thing is, I might have actually ran out of time. I probably did. If I take this off, I don't get any stun. I can't stun anymore. There's no more stuns. Oh, except on super rare occasion, I guess. The only way I stunned there is I ran out of mana, actually. And I did no cold damage. I guess. So, the problem is, if you tried to do this without cannot chill, freeze, or shock, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. Freeze, chill, take priority, even though chill is not the same thing as stun, even though chill is arguably inferior to stun. Freeze is superior to stun, but in the context of Warlord's Mark, they're both very inferior to stun, and since freeze and chill override stun, even if I steal the stun buff, I was able to verify this. I think I didn't allot myself enough time to show you right here, but I did unequip in the passives that, and then I continued, shooting arrows into everything, and I was getting no rage. And then I immediately, within the window of the 60-second window, put the skill back on, and then just got flooded with rage again. So that's all the evidence you need. It's already been kind of known in the community. I'm able to kind of verify it here for you right now, or just reiterate or re-verify it for anyone who is questionable about that. So yeah, freeze, chill. You really cannot do this without having some way to remove freeze and chill. And usually when you remove freeze chill, you're getting brittle anyway, so it's a nice trade-off. Secrets of Suffering is fun. It's definitely a bit meta-defying because we're trading off some survivability or in the way of some survivability by losing out on freeze. I know that's something a lot of people don't want to give up. I know Sniper's Mark is something a lot of people don't want to give up, and I fully admit Sniper's Mark on hit would be better against bosses, but against virtually everything else, even in really juiced up maps, I don't think so. Get a lot of added movement speed, a lot of added defense, a lot of added damage that helps to make up for the lost Sniper's Mark that's going out on literally everything. You lose a major projectile spread. Sure, while mapping that's a little bit bad, but keep in mind Sniper's Mark has like a 4-second cooldown. This doesn't. This has, what is the cooldown on this again? 0.15. Actually less when you read down the text on that. And you can slide in an extra curse with essentially no price. Don't even need the +1 curse. So those are my 3 major revelations. Just to recap, add a curse for free, Headhunter buff with stun, and energy shield monsters combined with Ironwood Tincture. It all works. It's all quite lovely. You can watch me on Twitch and see this all in action. You're going to see this rage bar just maxed out all the time for most of the map. The only catch is that you can't run a map mod with monsters cannot be stunned. That is the one catch. Gotta regex that one off. All right. That's it for now. That's the update I have for you. What do you think about the Warlord's Mark cast on crit tech? Are you trying it out? Have you tried it on Sniper's Mark? By the way, you can just use cast on crit Sniper's Mark. I mean, it would be a much superior version of Mark on hit Sniper's Mark. Still costs you the same amount of gems in total. It just requires that you put it in a 6 link, I guess. But I want to hear your opinion on this. It's got me excited. I absolutely love the way it plays. It's going to be even better next league, presumably, when things do get stunned more authentically, organically, without having to deal with stun threshold issues on tanky monsters. But either way, with the budget I have on this build, which admittedly is upwards of about 3 mirrors now, even on 10k juice, I'm able to stun the little white and magic monsters. They're just constantly like a gopher ping-ponging here and there. Warlord mark, ding, 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 ding. They're just all getting stunned constantly and resetting, and then punishment going out and everything. It's really working out great. I want you guys to try it if you're willing. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes, and I will see you in the next video.